Hi everyone, it's Stacy. Thank you for coming on this yoga leap with me. Welcome back to anyone who's been practicing through these videos for a little while. Welcome to anyone new finding the videos for the first time. As you can see, I've got my chair there behind me as well as my mat. We're going to flow a little bit between the chair and the mat. So I will be cueing both options. If you find that you are in one, either on the chair or on the mat, and you're waiting for me to catch up to you or join you, just take a few breaths in the posture you're in, or find a comfortable posture, like anything from child's pose to mountain pose to downward dog, if that feels comfortable for you, and just spend a few extra breaths in that pose, exploring that pose while you wait for me to catch up. Like I said, I will be cueing for both props, the mat and the chair. I don't really use any other props. If you do have blocks or a strap or a bolster or a blanket or anything that you do like to practice with, by all means, grab it and feel free to practice with it. Other than that, I will meet you. I'm going to start seated on the mat and we'll get started. So making our way down to the mat or the chair, wherever you are comfortable, beginning. And finding a comfortable seated position. So whether that's easy seated pose, cross-legged, or if you are ready and working on coming into lotus or half lotus, by all means, go ahead and find that posture too. If you're in the chair, sit up nice and tall. Maybe to begin with, if you do have a back to your chair, use the back for a bit of support. We want to make sure we're rooting down through the sit bones wherever we are, and sitting up nice and tall through the spine. Our hands can rest on our knees or in our lap, wherever they feel comfortable, and palms can be turned up or down. So sort of depends on what kind of energy you're looking for your practice tonight. I say tonight because it's nighttime where I am filming, but you could be practicing in the day or the night, who knows. So again, depending on what type of energy you are looking to bring into your practice, if you are feeling a bit high energy and you want to bring in a bit of a calming energy, maybe turning the hands down and really grounding down into your own body might help bring the energy down. If on the other hand you're feeling a bit lethargic and you're looking to bring some energy to your practice, maybe turning the palms up and inviting that high energy into your body. Or if you're not sure, we can do one of each. It's totally up to you. So settling in here, rooting through the sit bones, sitting up nice and tall, maybe rolling the shoulders a couple of times here. Eyes can remain open or closed if it's comfortable. If the eyes are going to stay open, just maybe gently turning the gaze down towards the floor and finding some nice stable area to rest your gaze gently. Otherwise, closing the eyes, maybe rotating the shoulders in the opposite direction if we've still been moving through the shoulders, and then let it go. Let's start to settle in here, thinking about the type of energy we want to invite into our practice with palms turned down or up. See if we can either feel that kind of energy around us, or even try to start creating that kind of energy. So calming energy, maybe giving your leg or your lap a little squeeze. If you're looking to invite high energy in, maybe rooting down through the sit bones, sitting a little taller and really inviting that high energy into your practice. Continuing to invite that energy in through our breath, taking deep breaths, trying to fill our whole torso, our belly, ribs, and chest on our inhale. And then exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Draw everything back in. Inhale and find the energy you're looking for, calm or high energy. And then exhale, let it go. Inhale again to invite that energy. And exhale, let it go. Just take a couple more rounds at your own pace here. And if while we are finding our breath and our energy, of creating a mantra is something that also helps you find the energy and keep the energy, go ahead and do that now. A mantra or a motto, a little saying that you can repeat to yourself. So maybe if you are looking like me to calm the energy, your mantra can be, I am calm, or my energy is calm. And if it's the opposite, make your mantra the opposite. All right, if the eyes are closed, maybe just fluttering the eyes open, gazes down, and we'll release our hands from our body and we'll start to bring some movement to the breath. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, let it go. Now, again, keeping in mind the type of energy you're looking for, whether that's to draw in calming energy and exhale calming energy, or are we looking to invite high energy? Exhale, high energy. Just keep that in mind throughout our practice today, making sure the breath and the energy level is moving, is sort of guiding the movements. Let's take another inhale here. Exhale. Let's add a twist. So we'll inhale again and twist, exhale. So we're twisting through the core here. So we're twisting through the belly, then the ribs, then the shoulders. Our arms will cross over the front of our body and the back arm just comes to support us. We're sitting up nice and tall, rotating nicely through the spine and maybe gazing over the back shoulder. Stay for a breath, invite the energy. And then exhale around to the front. Good. Let's go to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, twist over to the other side. So still rooting through the sit bones, whether you're in the chair or on the floor. Twist through torso, chest, and then look over the back shoulder. Back hand supports us to help us sit up nice and tall. Take an inhale here. And then exhale that energy, come around to the front. Let's just move with our breath for a couple of twists here. On the exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Rooting down through the sit bones. Inhale, center. Let's exhale our hands through heart center. Good. Let it go. Find that connection to the body, whether the palms are turned down or up. Stay for a breath. All right, let's open up through the front side body. Let's take a big inhale here. This time as we exhale, let's draw the elbows down. See if we can maybe start to open up through the front side body more as we begin to lift. And maybe even think about tilting the elbows up towards the ceiling. This is so that we're opening up through the heart center. Palms are reaching back, elbows reaching forward. And then let's exhale, find a rounded spine as the hands find the lap. This time we can all turn our hands down just so we can find those knees, whether we're seated in the chair or the floor. And that'll help us round through the spine here. Find that cat stretch. So we're doing a bit of an exaggerated seated cat-cow. Now we're going to start to inhale, pulling the heart space through, reach the arms up. And then exhale, find those cactus arms again. See if we can open up through the heart center, root down through the sit bones so that we're not dumping into the low back, but we're lifting and opening, tilting the elbows up towards the ceiling or sky. Good. Inhale here. And then exhale, start to round. Find connection to the knees, round through the spine. All right, let's inhale, release, sweep the arms up. Exhale, find this heart opening, find those cactus arms here. Nice big inhale. And then exhale, round through the spine. So let's do a few more rounds here as we move with our breath through our seated, exaggerated cat-cow. Exhale, open. Inhale, open more. And then exhale, round, moving with your own breath. On the inhale, we sweep our arms up. And then we exhale to open. And then we inhale, open up more, twist those elbows, turn those elbows, and then exhale round. Good. Couple more on our own pace. Let's do one more. And then we'll all take a big inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale the hands, let them come all the way behind you. Now, if you are sitting in a chair and you don't have room, maybe just scooching to the front of the chair. Move yourself forward a little bit. Make a bit of room so you can reach behind. I'm just going to turn to the side a little bit here, just so we can see. We're going to reach behind. See if we can clasp our hands together, maybe even drawing the palms together, reaching the knuckles down and open up through the front side body here. So with our hands clasped, I'm still just going to turn back to the front in a moment. Let's see if we can draw the fists over towards the left. Just turn around to the front. So we're from behind drawing the fists around to the waist on the left side body. See if we can then also square off the hips and shoulders so that this part is facing forward. Our shoulders are nice and square. Our hips are nice and square, stacked under the shoulders. And we've got this fist pressing into the sideways, and draw that left elbow back. So we're feeling a nice big stretch here, maybe down the front of the right shoulder, maybe down the front of the left shoulder as well. Root down through the sit bones, stay nice and tall. Stay for a couple of breaths. Good. Let's release. Good. Roll the shoulders or sweep the arms up. Take a big breath, whatever your shoulders need after that stretch. And then let's come around behind again, clasp the fingers, maybe crossing the opposite finger and thumb in front. See if we can reach those knuckles down, drawing the palms together. And then let's bring that fist, that sort of closed fist, around to the right sideways. Square off the hips and the shoulders, sit up nice and tall. Press into the waist and then draw that right elbow back. So open up through the front side body. Stay for a couple of breaths here. Notice how different this might feel from one side to the other. Good. Let's take one more breath. And let's release the hands. Again, shake it out, roll the shoulders, or sweep the arms up, and then draw the hands through heart center. All right, let's do a little bit of a side stretch here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Let's let the left hand come down, find the mat. The right arm reaches up on the inhale, and then over towards the left. Stay grounded through the sit bones. Maybe even think about turning that top shoulder towards the front of the room, looking under the top arm. See how that changes the stretch. Stay for a breath. On the inhale, come up through center, reach, 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 reach. And then exhale, the right arm comes down. Inhale, left arm reaches, and then exhale, other side. So think about rolling that top shoulder. Think about looking underneath the top arm. And stay grounded through the sit bones. If you find the sit bones are lifted, press into this bottom hand here and root the sit bone down. The opposite sit bone. Stay for a breath. And let's inhale through center. And exhale, hands down to our side. All right, good. Roll the shoulders, shake it out. If you're on the mat, let's make our way to our tabletop. So we're just uncrossing legs, maybe rolling over one hip, finding tabletop. If you're seated in the chair, I'll join you in a minute. We're gonna flow through a couple rounds of cat-cow here. So dropping the belly on the inhale, pulling the heart space through, tilting the tailbone up towards the ceiling. This is our inhale with our heart and belly open. And then exhale, press the ground away and round through the spine. Keep finding that seated cat-cow for a few breaths if you're in the chair. Inhale and exhale. Good. All right, let's inhale to a neutral spine here. So we want to just check that we've stacked our joints, knees under hips, wrists under elbows and shoulders, spread the fingers wide. And let's move into a little bit of flow here. So let's inhale as we are either in tabletop or in the chair, and then exhale, sit back into child's pose if you're on the ground, or fold forward, find a child's pose if you're in the chair. From here, take a few breaths. And then when we're ready, let's lift the forehead and inhale forward, either to tabletop or maybe even a low plank if we're on the floor, whereby our shoulders rather are going to come a little forward of our fingers, and instead of being in a 90 degrees here, we have our hips a little bit lower. We've pulled our belly in and we're creating a little bit of a long line from the head sort of down to the back of the knees. And then press back child's pose. So if you're in the chair, you're going from seated to a forward fold. So coming up to seated if you're in the chair, if you're on the mat, tabletop, or maybe even that low plank where we tilt the tailbone, engage the core, and press the mat away. You might even feel a bit of rounding through the spine. Option is to curl the toes under and come into a high plank as well. So there in the high plank, you can see the long line of energy from my head down to my toes. Now in tabletop, in plank, I'm not coming into tabletop. The knees, if they drop, I still maintain that connection, that tilt, and that belly drawn in. Whew, let's sit back. Child's pose. Exhale. So on the next inhale, remember the options are coming to tabletop, which has those 90-degree angles, low plank, which has that long line of energy, or we're going to curl the toes and lift the knees and we'll have that high plank. And then if the knees are lifted, lower them down, press back child's pose. And toes can stay curled or uncurl the toes. It's your choice there. And if you're in the chair, remember just flowing from seated to forward fold. Find your option here. Do a couple more rounds. Firing up some heat in the belly, the arms, even maybe the back of legs and glutes, especially if you're choosing this high plank option. Push that mat away. Send the back of the knees up. And then find child's pose. Good. Stay here for a couple breaths. Breathe into the backside body. All right, if we're on the floor, let's come into a tabletop here. We're going to make our way into a side plank with a few options here. So from our tabletop, we can, I'm just trying to figure out which way to turn so that you can see it best. Well, okay, let's kickstand our right leg out behind us as we step the left leg long. So you're going to end up sort of on the right knee, left leg long. You might be facing the opposite way from me. That's okay. We just need to remember which side we're doing here and do the opposite side next time around. So here we have the right leg kickstanded out behind us and our left leg long. Let's use our core strength to come on up. Good. Let's find a side bend. If you're on the floor, stay here in the side bend. We're reaching towards the outstretched leg. If we're in the chair, I'll just join you in the chair here for a little bit. it might just look a little bit like the left leg has stepped out, the right leg still planted on the floor, and here's our side bend in the chair. And then wherever we are, let's flow a little bit with our breath. Let's see if we can, if we're on the floor, reach our hand all the way down to the mat. If we're on the chair here, using the chair as support, and then find a long side angle from the left fingertips all the way down to the left toe, pressing into both feet for support. Find that stretch. Good. Now use that core strength to come up and over again. Remember, if you're on the floor, the right foot is kickstanded out behind you. Flow with your breath. Use the core strength to come up and over. Reach through the fingertips, reach through that extended leg. Feel that nice stretch. Good. I'm just going to join you back on the floor. Keep flowing. A couple more breaths. I'm just going to catch up. You just keep going wherever you are. I'm just joining you here on the floor. If you have a block, this might be a good place to use a block to bring the floor up to you. And on the next one, if we like, we can hold as we come around here, reaching for the block or the floor. Let's see, option is to find the nice long stretch if we like that, or maybe our top arm reaches up. We really root down into the bottom foot and hand and see if we can lift our left leg off the mat. Really squeeze the pelvis forward. Feel the work in the glutes. Reaching through the toes, the fingers, pressing the floor away so that we're not just dumping into our shoulders. This is a big, strong plank. Option is to have the top leg lowered as well, but still squeeze the bum. Find the work in the core. Stay for another full cycle of breath. Take one more inhale. Reach. Last inhale. And exhale, lower down. Good. Let's just bring ourselves up. Let's step the knee in here. Option to sit back into a child's pose or any restful posture. Find a couple rounds of breath. Then we'll lift the forehead, walk ourselves back up, and let's see if we can come into the other side. Now, if you are facing lengthwise on your mat, this time we'll come up into our tabletop, kickstand the left leg out behind us as our right leg steps out. I'm just going to turn to the front so that you can see me, so that I'm in the opposite, so I'm using the opposite legs here for this stretch. So coming up on the knee. If this is a little too much, by all means, feel free to sit down and just bring the sole of the foot to the inner thigh here, and we'll work through the flow this way. Another option is to fold your mat over to give your knee an extra bit of support. I have quite a squishy, thick mat here, so I don't find I need it, but those are a couple of options if the knee is not loving this this posture. Okay, here we are. Let's reach the right arm down the right leg, sweep the left arm up and over. Let's find that big side stretch to begin with. Remember, if you're on the chair, the left foot is planted in front, right foot steps out to the side. Good. Take a big breath. Then let's inhale. Use our core strength to pull us up through center and help control all the way to the ground or the block, and find that big side stretch down. Right side body. Here's a big one. Use that core strength to come all the way up through center again. Woo! Find the stretch. So remember, you may want to put a block here under this left hand. It brings the floor up a little closer to you. On any height, it would look like this. This is a great option. And then using that core strength, we can flow between the sides here. Ooh, I love that block there. And if you have a book or a block, I highly recommend bringing the floor up to you so you can really work on controlling here, control through the core. Good. All right. The next time we come to the other side, we're going to stay and we're going to see if we can come into that hovering leg side plank. So I'm going to leave my block here. Remember, this is your option, just like we were doing. Really squeeze the bum. Send the, sort of draw the tailbone up into the belly. Squeeze the bum. Option to reach the top arm up and press the floor away as the right leg lifts off the mat this time. Notice how this might feel very different from the first side. Stay nice and open, keep pressing the floor away, don't just dump into shoulders. Woo! You see right away I lost all the integrity when I dumped into the shoulders. When I'm strong and pressing into the knee, pressing into the hand, then I can keep this right leg lifted and squeezing the bum. We're going to stay for 2 more breaths. All right, let's lower down using our strength. Come all the way up. Awesome. Let's step the knee in and come into a child's pose one last time. Or folding forward over the thighs in your chair. All right, let's lift the forehead from our child's pose. Let's come into our tabletop here. And we'll make our way all the way down to our bellies. So option to come into your low or high plank and bend the elbows straight back through chaturanga, or just working your way down, supporting yourself all the way down. To begin with, let's walk the hands out on about, sort of like those cactus arms at the beginning of class. If you're seated in the chair, go back to the cactus arms cat and cow breath work. We're just doing a variation on the floor here. So to begin with, squeezing the bum, zipping the legs up, toes along the mat, squeeze the bum, and start to peel yourself off the mat, lifting the chest and the belly, the chest and the sort of head comes up last. Open up here, squeezing the bum, protect that low back. If you're in the chair, you're in that open heart cactus, reaching the elbows up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, round down, melt down if you're on the floor, unravel 1 vertebrae at a time. Awesome, let's do it again. Squeeze the bum, start to lift, squeeze the belly, lift the low ribs and the higher ribs, the heart center, head comes up last. And then exhale, unravel 1 vertebrae at a time. Try 2 more at your own pace here. Zip, 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 inhale, unravel. And exhale to lower. 1 more time. All right. From here then, if we're on the floor, let's take our hands down by our side, turn the palms up. Option to come into a 1-leg or 2-legged bow. So for bow, if we can bend both legs and reach back for the ankles here, go ahead and do that. Maybe think about rolling the shoulders down back, squeezing the shoulder blades. An option is to lift the feet up to the ceiling and resist into the hands and see how high we can get, opening up through front side body here. If we're coming into one side at a time, we'll reach back, same foot, same ankle, opposite hand comes in front, and it aligns to the short edge of your mat here, and you'll feel a nice quad stretch right away without doing any lifting here. Or you can also press into this forearm in the front and kick that back foot up for a little bit more of a bow and extension. So I'm gonna let that go. Think about your options on the floor. If you're in the chair for this one, you can stick with the cat-cow cactus arms, or an option might be just to scoot yourself over to the side and work on the quad stretch that some of us would be experiencing here. So supporting your right leg, in this case, under the chair, step the left leg back. I'll turn to the side for this. So You may want to turn to the side in your chair, depending on what type of chair you have, and create a little bit of a 90 degrees in the front leg and the back leg. You may then tilt the pelvis and already feel a nice quad stretch. And again, supporting yourself by holding onto the chair, depending on what type of chair you have, you might want to reach back for the foot. Aim the knee straight down. Feel that quad stretch. Stay open through the heart space. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And this would be your option in the chair. Woo. So no matter where you are, take a few more breaths. If you're doing double bow, we'll come out of it and repeat it again. If you're doing that single option, single leg option, you just want to switch sides this time. So the opposite arm, so this time left arm in front, line it up to the short edge of the mat. Right hand reaches for right ankle. Square off the shoulders, make sure the hip bones are pressing into the mat. You'll feel that quadricep stretch right away. Or maybe you want to work on pressing into the forearm, lifting the foot, opening up through the heart center, working on the other side here, or of course working on our double bow round 2. Stay for one more breath. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching. And then with a bit of control, don't let the feet slingshot out. Lower everything down, letting one cheek find the mat. The beauty of being alone in our private practice spaces is we might want to wiggle through the hips here a little bit, let it go. Maybe you want to find child's pose already. Or maybe you want to bend the knees, windshield wiper the feet a little bit into the air. Your choice here. Find what works for you for 2 more breaths. And then if we're on the ground, let's bring our hands just to our low ribs here. Let's press ourselves up through tabletop, or maybe you're looking for a downward dog stretch here. Your choice. If you're doing downward dog, curl the toes under, lift the hips up and press the front of the mat away. You can walk the dog out. Stay here in your downward dog. An option if you're using the chair as a prop for downward dog, whether you're beside the chair or in front of it, is to use the chair here as a way to bring the ground way up high for you. And then you can still find a nice long stretch through the back, underneath the arms, just as if we were in a downward dog. So a couple options there. Stay with your option for a couple more breaths. Remember, the tabletop choice is great. You might want to flow through cat-cow or do a few circles with your spine. So just a little bit of free movement here. Again, we're in that private practice space. No one is watching. No one's judging, including yourselves. No judging of yourself. Just moving intuitively here, figuring out what feels good. Awesome. And then if you're in downward dog, let's start to lower the knees down. And we'll just make our way down to our back. So swinging the legs around. If you're in the chair, coming back to a comfortable seated position. To get down to the mat, you can roll down. You can use one leg as a lever, or you can simply walk yourself down the mat in a nice, safe way, coming all the way to our backs. Good. When we get here, let's hug the knees in, rock side to side. Now, if you're in the chair, an option might be to lift one knee at a time as we breathe in and out. This is an option on the floor as well, or otherwise coming into a nice ball, rocking side to side. Let's draw a few circles with our knees. So if you're on the chair, plant the feet, bring your hands to your knees, and do draw a few big circles rotating through the waist. If you're on the floor here, let's bring the hands to the knees, and a few options here. You can circle the knees in opposite directions, or you can circle them in the same direction. You'll find you sort of rock side to side, massaging out the low back and glutes. So a couple options, either opposite directions of each other or same direction. And then in the chair, like I said, ooh, I'm getting up and down awfully quick here. Hands on knees here, and just finding a few circles through the waist. Awesome. And then we'll do a few more wherever we are. Feet are planted here. We're inhaling as we reach forward, trying to round through the spine a bit as we roll back. Let's switch directions. So if you're on the floor, switching the direction of both knees together or switching the direction of opposite knees, going in opposite directions. Ooh, that was a lot of opposites. I hope that made sense. And just circling through the torso. Again, no one's watching, no one's looking. What feels good? Don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to come back to that energy we were looking for. Has it changed? Are you looking for different energy now or still looking for that same energy? There's no right or wrong answer. Let's come through stillness, come to center. Good. Again, if you're on the floor, lower the feet down, step the feet a little bit wide and just sort of rock them side to side, windshield wiper. If you're in the chair, this might work better if you step a little bit to the edge of the chair and just let the knees windshield wiper from side to side. All right, I'm going to join you back on the mat here. Keep windshield wipering the knees, letting it all go. And then let's just find a gentle twist. So an option for a twist is to just let the legs fall over to the side. Arms can come into a cactus or T, and turn the gaze. If you're seated in the chair, come back to that inhale and exhale as the hand crosses the body. You find a gentle seated twist. Breathe into the side body. Find that energy, that calming or energetic energy. And then bring the gaze back through center. Bring the knees back through center. And then let them go to the other side. Nice and easy. Maybe the knees aren't even touching. Maybe they are. Maybe they're a little bit longer along the mat, or maybe they've drawn into the chest a bit more, depending on what you're looking for. Arms are in T or cactus along the floor, and gaze is turning away from the knees if it feels okay. Turning back to the breath. Bring the gaze back through center. Bring the knees back through center as well. And from here, let's come into our happy baby. So if you're in the chair, step the feet really wide and come into a nice wide forward fold in between the legs. If you're on the mat, see if we can reach the feet up towards the ceiling, and we either reach behind the knees, maybe the calves, the ankles, or the sides of the feet, and draw those knees down towards the side of our body, sort of out towards the side of the armpits. Roll the tailbone down, see if we can flatten the spine along the mat. Breathe here. Option to stay in stillness or rock side to side, or even extend one leg and then the other if that feels okay. Ooh, and if your plant's not in the way as usual. I don't know why I don't move that plant out of the way. I think I love having it there, but I do kick it a lot in these practices. That's all right. Let's come into our happy baby. Roll the shoulders down and back. Let's stay for a couple more breaths. If you are finding movement in your happy baby, see if you can find 1 or 2 breaths in stillness. And then let's draw the soles of the feet together, draw the knees together, and move into Shavasana. So if you're in the chair, sitting up nice and tall, if you're on the mat, maybe extending the legs along the mat, reaching the heels out towards the corners of the mat. Hands can come down by our side, or one can rest on belly or in heart center. If you're seated in the chair, hands resting on the knees or the lap, whatever feels comfortable. Just make sure you're taking up a lot of space on your mat, making sure that you're feeling supported by your chair and your mat here as we move into our final few breaths, our relaxation Shavasana. Let's check in with our bodies and notice if there are any areas we're holding any tension. See if we can't just breathe some of that energy that we've been channeling all practice. Either that calming, soothing energy, or you're looking for that little boost of high energy. Shavasana is the time for our physical and energetic bodies to absorb all that good work we just did and turn it into something magical. It's a time for integration and rest. And know that rest is different from sleep, and that we need both every day. And we should never pass up an opportunity to just rest and do nothing. Now, the beauty of practicing through the screen, through the lens and the videos, is that you can stay in your Shavasana as long as your body wants or needs. You can just let the video play out or press pause. If you're ready to start bringing movement back into your body, maybe wiggle through fingers and toes, circle wrists and ankles. Maybe you want to stretch long along the mat, reach up or behind you, reach through the toes and the fingers, or maybe you want to curl into a little ball one last time. Just before rolling over to one side and making your way up to a comfortable seated position. From here, let's take a big breath together. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Let's exhale, draw all that energy, either that calming energy or that juicy high energy. Draw it in towards our heart center. Breathe it in one more time. Let it go. I want to thank you so much for allowing me into your personal private yoga practice spaces and for allowing me to be your guide through these movements and these postures. I hope to see you here again next week. Until then, take care. Thank you, everybody. I hope that through this practice and these movements and these postures, you were able to find the energy you were craving. Again, whether that was trying to bring the energy down or bring it up, whatever you were looking for, I hope this practice helped. Take care. See you next time.